everyone. My name is Tony, and we have Jordan with me, and we are from Everflow. And today we are with Prime Corporate Services. We have Tommy Thornburg and Hope Flagel with us today. How are you guys doing?
Doing great. Thank you for having us.
Yes,
Awesome.
doing great. Thank you.
Awesome. Great. And yes, so in terms of what we're going to cover today, Prime Corporate Services is an Everflow client and has seen tremendous success since they've been with us. So in just 7 months, they've already scaled their program to 7 figures in program revenue. And they really are showing the model for how to create a program in a very competitive space. So when you look in the affiliate world and you look at different kind of competitive niches, anything business related is always very tough. And Prime Corporate has done a great job kind of standing above their competition and showing kind of how you can create a program in a unique way. And so today we're going to cover that, and we're also going to cover how Prime has grown and what they've done to be successful. And so with that being said, I will pass this over to Jordan.
Yeah, so I'm going to be covering the first half of the questions, kind of more focused on Prime as a whole, your guys' business, incorporation services, all of that whole space. So to kind of start us off, I think it'd be really great to get like an official sort of introduction from both of you. So if Tommy and Hope, you could maybe share, obviously we have your names, but your titles, how long you've been at Prime, and what you do.
Sure. Yeah, that sounds great. I'll kick us off. Thank you again for having us. This is awesome. I know that Hope's been doing the majority of the work, but she said you guys have been awesome to work with as well. So my name's Tommy Thornburg. I'm the president of Prime Corporate Services. I've been here from the very beginning. We were established in 2012, and our whole goal when we first started was to help startup business owners navigate the waters of complicated topics, being legal and financial. So entity structuring, business credit, taxes, estate planning. I kind of joke that it's all the boring stuff and things that no one really wants to deal with in their business. But there is some truth to that, and everyone has to deal with taxes on an annual basis. So I feel like we've been able to play into that and really be able to help a lot of entrepreneurs. We've helped set up over 170,000 businesses. We file 50,000 tax returns a year. So it's been a fun experience. It's been fun growth. And then me personally, I've got 2 little girls, a beautiful wife, and I spend a lot of time sitting in this chair looking at this exact same camera on a weekly basis. So that's me.
I feel like we've learned a lot about your life just from that intro. That was fantastic.
Pretty excellent.
Oh, Hope, I think you were muted.
Oh, we can't hear you.
You're right. Tommy's a tough act to follow. It doesn't really matter what room Tommy's in or where he's at, but he always does a good job of getting everyone to smile. Just to kind of piggyback off of Tommy here, I've been with Prime for what will be close to about 2 years here pretty soon. But I feel like even longer because it's a little family. I came and was introduced to Prime actually from my sister, and that's a lot of the ways that people have been introduced to Prime. It's pretty tight-knit, so that's been awesome for me. And I am primarily with our account management team. So my forte and expertise is a lot in just being able to enjoy things like this and get to know people and create new relationships, and it's a blast. So a little bit about what I do at Prime. And personally for me, I don't think there's a day that you won't catch me talking about my dogs or my husband. I'd say that's probably my priorities. And if you ask me what I'm doing, it's something with them, but normally outdoors. And so we spend lots and lots of time taking our dogs out, hiking, fishing. It's partly why we're up in the mountains, because you're much closer to all of those things.
Oh, that sounds lovely. It's so nice getting sort of like a picture of like how you guys at Prime kind of function. It reminds me a lot of like sort of the culture at Everflow, and everyone just kind of gets along. It's nice. But to kind of get into it, the first question that we'll want to start off with, I think, is what is Prime Corporate Services, especially for those who don't know, like how a little bit of the history, how you guys got started, what you guys do. Give us like a bit of like a background on like the history of Prime, because you said 2012, like that's a while ago now.
Yeah, I know. It's good. Sometimes it feels like 100 years and sometimes it feels like a month. It kind of depends on the day. But so Prime Corporate Services, when we first started, our CEO, Steve Harward, him and I actually met at a celebration of life, and we just ended up hitting it off, and he needed someone to come in, and he had just barely started the company. So I called my boss at a previous company before and told him I really, really needed the money. So if he doesn't mind giving me the 2 weeks, I'd appreciate it. Fast forward, he's actually our COO now as well. So to Hope's point, we've worked really well off of just referrals. I think people that we know, like, and trust, and culture is something that's so important to us, because life is hard enough, and not liking people that you work with is making it even more difficult. So when we first started, we really were heavy in the e-commerce space. A lot of eBay business owners when we were first getting started, and a lot of Amazon. And it's just evolved over the years to real estate owners and network marketing companies. And now fast forward to this point, it's really any 1099 contractor, any small business. That's really where we put a lot of focus. And up until about a year ago, it was 100% affiliate driven and word of mouth. We really didn't start doing any marketing. We really didn't do anything from an ad standpoint until about a year ago. So we currently have over 1,000 different affiliates that send us their clients and put a lot of faith and a lot of trust in bettering their client experience so that we can help them navigate the entity structuring, the asset protection. So yeah, that's where we stand currently. Is it's still very heavily affiliate based.
That's really awesome. And just like the emphasis on partnerships, we'll circle back around to that after, but just a really cool way to grow. So what makes Prime kind of stand out from the competition? Like what makes you guys kind of really special in the incorporation space that, you know, definitely has led to your growth in the way that it has?
Yeah, great question. That answer changes every year, and I think that's a lot of the answer. I think the more that we continue to evolve and better the client experience, one of the main values that we really try and instill in everyone around here is care. If you care about the client experience, if you care about bettering products, if you care about building genuine relationships, it really does make it a whole lot easier. So when we first started, in comparison to right now, we still have the same 4 core products. And it's like an in-and-out menu to a certain extent. But every year, we're always trying to evolve and better those products. So anything that we have as far as services are concerned are really supporting those 4 core products. So we currently have other offerings, but they all are in support to better a business owner's journey. And our ultimate goal is having a back office that allows people to feel like everything's under one umbrella. And one of the things that really separates us is if you take an entrepreneurial or a business-related question to a CPA and an attorney, a lot of times they're 2 completely different answers, because the truth is somewhere in the middle for the business owner. Protecting your assets is important, but so is saving money on taxes. And if we can allow them a place to be able to ask those questions and get a difference of opinion and to weigh the pros and cons under one roof, that's really what we focused on, is to be the back-end solution for the legal and the financial services for small business owners.
I love that comparison to In-N-Out, almost obviously completely like unrelated, but also like the secret menu is kind of like the care, right? You know, if you're working and you're caring and you want to get them off the ground, you know, that's really cool.
And I actually had a quick follow-up question too, Tommy. When you guys, I know you said that affiliate is how you guys got started. Was there when you first started with affiliate, how did that come about? Were you nervous about working with affiliate? Were there things you didn't know? Like, how was that process?
Oh my goodness. It's a great question. When we first started, we had 2 affiliates. And they were just through relationships that our CEO, Steve Harward, had built through a previous business that he had helped start that was just kind of falling short. And Prime Corporate, when it started, about 2 months later is when I ultimately joined, and we lost one of those affiliates from competition. They ended up going with another competitor. So I was like, I just made the worst decision in my life, trusting this guy that I just met at a celebration of life. And we just hit the pavement. We ended up doing more. We ended up making a lot of outbound dials, and we ended up really focusing on bettering the client experience from a fulfillment standpoint. When it comes to entity structure, that's really what we're most known for, is LLCs and corporations. And at the time, we were sending out corporate binders, and we were doing what we felt like was something that someone would get from an attorney that they walk into their office. But what we have found is a lot of clients don't really want those things. They just want what they need, and they want to understand it. So we were able to find ourselves in a really cool position where we were able to bring our price point down significantly and still give documentation that would be as if you go to an attorney. So to answer from an affiliate standpoint, it really came back to more product-based solutions that allowed us to keep the cost down so that their clients felt like they were getting more bang for their buck. And that's when we really started to escalate and started signing on more affiliates by the dozens, really, at that point, once we were able to figure that out.
Wow, that's really cool.
Yeah.
So going back to a little bit of like what you guys offer, you said those 4 things. So can you maybe tell us a little bit more about like what those services are, and also why they're can be so important for business owners?
Yeah, of course. Absolutely. I've done this before. I promise you that. So I've got you. So the first thing.
Good.
This is exciting. We got to hear the pitch. This is great.
Yeah. The first product is it really starts with entity structure, LLCs and corporations, and the 2 things that I will say often. The number one, privacy and protection, tax benefits, and credibility. I think a lot of times people have a fear of something, right? And for business owners, a lot of times it's doubt. Is this really for me? Is, my family's talking trash, telling me I'm crazy for going out of the norm. And I think by having an LLC and formalizing yourself as a business, you're a business owner. It takes it from fake it till you make it to you're playing the part. You are actually a business owner. And very biased opinion here, so brace yourselves. But I feel that everyone in the U.S. should be self-employed to some extent, whether it's a side hustle, side business, or full-time self-employment. And obviously the reason that I believe that is because I know the impact that has on people from a tax standpoint. The tax code is very complex, but it really benefits people that are self-employed. There's a lot of additional tax codes that allow people to keep more money in their corner. And that's why I am so passionate about educating and continuing to help people understand the importance of entity structure, even if it's something that is a network marketing or just some sort of a side hustle. I can't tell. I travel quite a bit and speak at a lot of events. And it's kind of embarrassing how many Uber and Lyft drivers I've helped formalize themselves as business owners. So that's the first one is entity structure. So any questions on entity structure or LLCs, corporations, anything like that?
Only that's really cool. Like you get in the back of an Uber and then suddenly the driver suddenly is his own business.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was gonna say I have nothing to talk to Uber drivers about, so I feel like that's Tommy, you have the
Yeah.
ultimate setup. Like that's that's a dream. So
Yeah. So I usually get into Ubers and Lyfts thinking that I don't want to talk. And then I find myself talking about taxes as if that's not my day to day for the next however many minutes I'm in the car.
Oh man.
So entity structure is number one. Number two, we have a really, really cool product and service. It's a business credit development program. And what we do is we walk people through a 7-step process and support them for a year on how to go through Dun & Bradstreet, how to get starter accounts, how to build a separate credit profile and build separate business credit profiles that allow them the ability to open the doors for additional funding. And I always, when you don't need money, everyone and their mother sends you a credit card application. And when you need money, it tends to be a little bit more difficult to come across. So that business credit builder is amazing. We've had it from the beginning. We're currently getting over $4 million a month in business credit and corporate funding for our clients to have more spending power to build and grow and scale their business. And having more money is a solution for business problems. My mother always says more money makes Mother Teresa a better person, and more money makes bad people. So having money is a great thing for business owners, and that's one of the areas of focus there. That's number two. Number three is taxes. We've got full service tax company. We've got a full accounting firm. So monthly planning, quarterly planning, bookkeeping, tax filings for personal and business. This year, we're going to surpass 50,000 tax forms filed. We've got a massive tax company on that side. And once you have the entity and you understand how to track and organize your expenses, we usually find that we're able to save people about $9,200 a year through just educating them different tax strategies. And then the fourth and final product and service is our estate plan. Trust, wills, living wills, power of attorneys. Good old Benjamin Franklin said the only two things that are certain in life are death and taxes.
Death and taxes.
As depressing as that is, there is some truth to it. Everyone should have a trust. Everyone should have a will. Every state is a little bit different. And we have done yourself options. We have done with you options. Going back to what I think separates us from a lot of the competition is having different options for different people and meeting the client where they are and helping and providing them what they need when they need it. We're in this for the long run. We've got a lot of gas in the tank left, and we want to continue to better the client experience more than anything else.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's a good 4-piece menu, you know?
Yep.
Yep.
And then in addition to that, it's like Google Workspace, emails, domains, quick claim deeds. I could go off on a laundry list of
like other little tiny things, you know, that are like, unsung heroes kind of in a way.
Yep.
Yeah.
All of them just support the double animal style, going back to the In-N-Out menu. So it was entities and tax or an In-N-Out franchise for me, and it's still entity and tax for now. I'm not ruling In-N-Out out long term.
Who knows? It could be the passive income in retirement, you know.
Yep. There we go.
The In-N-Out chains. And I mean, you've seen so many innumerable businesses get off the ground over the years. Like, what are some common mistakes? And you kind of touched on some of them. Like, what are some really common mistakes that businesses make, especially when they're getting started?
Yeah, one of our slogans around here is "It's not what you make, it's what you keep." And I would say that's one of the biggest mistakes that we find is when people are first getting into business. It is very common for them to turn to their accountant or their CPA and say, should I structure myself as a business? The accountant's answer and response oftentimes is going to be, just wait until you're making money, right? Because they don't think to contact an attorney because the mind goes to lawsuit first. if they were to ask the attorney would oftentimes say, of course, you're starting a business, set it up the right way from the very beginning. And that's a lot of times what we find is there's no tax code that says you have to be an unreal, amazing business owner. But there is a tax code that says as long as you have the intent to generate income, you can take business-related deductions. So if year one, you're in strategy and planning phase, and you turn a small profit or no profit, you can still write off startup expenses and organizational expenses and things that are going to keep thousands, if not tens of thousands of dollars in your pocket and in your corner for year two growth. And everyone wants to make $10,000 more a year just for sake of conversation. But it's not as commonly talked about on how to save $10,000 a year. And what we want to help people understand is how to compound both to create more generational wealth, to make it a $20,000 net earnings, as opposed to just focusing on the revenue at all times, because keeping that money is equally as important for long-term growth.
Yeah, that's actually, I mean, it's crazy because I'm thinking about my own career now and thinking, because before I came to Everflow, I was a freelance writer, copywriter, content writer, and I did that for several years. And I'm thinking now, I'm like, how much money could I have saved, especially tax-wise, if I had done that for myself? I'm like thinking about that and like, wow, yeah, a lot of people are missing out on this.
Yes. Anything like that. There's so many things that you did that, and the number one thing that we find that helps people save money in taxes is having proper tracking. Our clients that track their expenses, whether it be hiring bookkeepers, whether it be an Excel spreadsheet, QuickBooks, one designated credit card, that's the number one tax savings. And it's between $8,000 and $10,000 per client. For the ones that actually track their expenses. Because for you, as a content writer, you don't remember what you had for lunch last Tuesday. You're not going to remember if it's business related a month from now. And if you're going and meeting up with someone for research or anything else, it really adds up at the end of the year.
Yeah. Wow. Amazing. And circling back around to partnerships and like how it was like the business was built on relationships with people and connections. And like, also it sounds like the way you hire, and it's all kind of down to relationships and partnerships of some kind, whether that be affiliate or otherwise. So could you talk a little bit more about how partnerships have kind of contributed to Prime's success? And I think of this as kind of also a good transitional sort of question into affiliate and that sort of, side of things.
Yeah, for sure. I'll start and then Hope, if there's anything you want to add, being on the account management side. I mean, there's a lot of people and organizations that are very important to the overall success. And I say that because Steve Harwood and myself find ourselves in these rooms and these amazing conversations about what we like to consider more visionary personalities. A lot of times CEOs and business owners are thinking so large and so far into the future that the detail oftentimes gets lost. So Steve and I can go have these big visionary conversations on how we can better client experience and how everyone can make more money and so on and so forth. But what we found, especially over the last couple of years, is there's number 2, 3, 4, 5, so on and so forth that have actually, they actually have to do the work to make it a reality. So that's where I think Hope and the transition, like you're talking about, has been very instrumental for us. I like having those high level conversations. I like doing webinars and presentations and speaking on stages, but that doesn't do any good if there isn't any implementation. And that's where Hope and the entire account management team has done a really good job of building relationships with the integrators and the people that are going to really help us integrate into their programs and get video modules into their courses. And ideas are only as good as the implementation takes them. And I think that we've created a really solid balance on Hope and the team that she's on being able to create those relationships with the operators and even you guys. I Hope's awesome, and she says the same thing about you. And It takes a special person to actually follow through with what they commit to do. I'm not that person. I'm just going to keep talking, and you won't get me to shut up. I need hope. I need hope to actually get some work done around here. So it takes a team in a lot of these settings.
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with that more, truly. I do think that the biggest piece there is it does take a team. And I also think when it comes down to the integration piece and that component is that we want to help keep the process still as easy as possible, but make sure they always have a point of contact, right? And help you to continue to integrate those things and make it simple. And I think that's where Everflow has played a huge role. And one of the reasons why we chose to go that route is just for simplicity, not only like internally for our team and all of account management to help out on executing the things that, you know, Tommy promises to our partners, but also making it easy for our partners to see how they're doing. Like that's just playing a huge role in the process.
Awesome. And I know, Hope, you touched on going to Everflow. Before you were at Everflow, you mentioned simplicity. Were there any other issues you were having with your platform before?
Yeah, I think it's just and we've touched on this a little bit, but we're kind of like a rocket ship taking off. You know, with some days it feels like we've been around for a really long time, and then other days it feels like it's a month because there's still so much work to do, and we're growing so quickly. And with that growth is also keeping up with the growth and having the tools and resources in place to keep up with that. And Everflow became, you know, a tool and resource for us to do exactly that. You know, when we can't communicate something to a partner as often as we want because maybe we're talking to 100 some odd partners, then Everflow helps us to still give them a way to stay informed and up to date.
Awesome. And you know, because you're in such a competitive space, and also it's a slightly different space in the affiliate world. So it's not like a biz op type, you know, campaign. It's not like a purely legal type campaign. In terms of getting affiliates excited, like what kind of things about your program make it stand out to affiliates?
Yeah, that's a really great question.
One thing I want to add as well, Hope, and then I'm gonna hand this to you as well. But one of the things that you said before, Tony, even when you're talking about the previous software, like we started with Google Sheets, right? Like a lot of it was very, very manual. And we had 3 people that were working full time on getting pay reports out to these affiliates. And when they wanted to know what they're getting paid, when they're getting paid, how many clients were coming through, it was a big lift. For now, we're able to turn it around instantly with solutions like this. But Hope, I'm sorry to cut you off. I just wanted to add that when you're first getting started, when we had 5, 10, 20 affiliates, sure, that's easier. But once you if we would have implemented something like this earlier, it would have been less of a lift to make the transition. It took us a little bit longer, I think, than it probably usually does. You guys would know better than me, but if we made that decision earlier, we wouldn't have had as big of a lift. I'm grateful that we are where we are now.
Awesome.
Yeah. And don't be sorry at all. I'm glad that you said that because it's so true. It's crazy what you start out with and then what you develop into, what you grow into. And it's just so funny to be like, yeah, we really were using Google Sheets. And even in some cases have to. And that's just how you get started, you know?
Yeah.
For sure. And in terms of you know, making your program stand out, are there any sorts of things that you guys feel that make your program more attractive? Like, so for example, if you're launching a similar program, are there any kind of features that you think kind of set you guys apart that kind of make affiliates want to take notice?
Yeah, I think that Tommy has talked about this a lot. And I think one of the key drivers here is just our products. They speak for themselves. You know, it just makes sense to have those sorts of things, especially like Tommy said, if you're 1099, like there's nobody who wouldn't need something like that. So the products really speak for themselves. And I think it makes it really easy, but also just to put it really straightforward and simple, we do have really good conversion rates because of our products and how applicable they are to so many people. And then also with the way that we're structured, the commission that we provide for our affiliates on this product is kind of a no-brainer as well. We've got it set up really nice, and it's been really effective for so many years. And so I'd say that is something that kind of highlights us.
Very cool. Yeah, it's great to have the products in place that that customers are going to be happy with. So your affiliates, when they promote them, they're going to make sure that they'll make sure that they get the return. So that's fantastic.
And also affiliates that might like benefit from those products and services themselves too, because being business to business and also business to soon to be business or whatever, these affiliates would need to save money themselves on taxes and, certain things like that. So it might even be, obviously on a much larger scale, but similar to like, let's say a beauty influencer being like, I actually really love this product. And so I'm going to tell the people who follow me that I really love this product and I genuinely love it. And with that way on a bigger scale, it's more genuine too.
Yeah. It's funny that you say that. I was going to say the same thing. It's crazy how many of our affiliates need a lot of the services that we have as well. Even including myself, I'm an employee and I need these services, so it's just going back to the product and letting that product speak for itself and how important it is.
Yeah, that makes a ton of sense. And I can also see, in the affiliate space, you have coming up with a name for your business, coming up with the structure for it, getting a site, getting taxes, which as an affiliate, 1 month you may not have too much coming in, the next month you may have just a ton of cash. And so how do you manage that? How do you set yourself up? And that makes a ton of sense. And in terms of kind of getting your program scaling, and it has been so successful with us, has there been any features that you felt have helped you guys either save time daily or any kind of features that have helped you feel have been instrumental to growth?
Oh yeah, there is probably more than I can count in Everflow, and more than I've really even had the opportunity to explore with your team. I feel like, the more and more we grow, the more I'm like, oh my gosh, that report exists, or oh wow, that exists, So I feel like it's just an ongoing thing day after day, but there are certainly some things that have stood out. And one of those is the tracking and scheduling links and the referral links. I mean, that makes a big difference. We have affiliates that come on and do exactly what you said, Jordan. They're like, oh my gosh, I've got to share this, not only to get people set up with services, to be like, why aren't you with Prime or talking to Prime, or why aren't you an affiliate with Prime? And so the referral link gets used so often. And the fact that it's keeping track of everything for us on the back end, that alone saves more time than I think you can even imagine, because it's already tracking commissions for us. It's already tracking who was the referral, where it's coming from, who needs to get paid out, those sorts of things. That makes a huge difference for us. And then also for our affiliates to so quickly be able to access their link that they can share with their following to actually get scheduled with Prime. It's so simple. I talked about it at the beginning of the call. It's just so user-friendly. And I appreciate that, because it makes it so much easier for us to actually give some deliverables to our partner. It's like Tommy mentioned in the beginning, we get really amped up and really excited about all the things that we do, but then how do we integrate it? And Everflow has been a great contributor to actually letting us integrate it through the referral link and the scheduling link. So those are two that really, really stand out to me. And then I touched on this a little bit, and honestly, I've had so much fun with this, but the reporting, I mean, partners can pull whatever reports they want. I can pull whatever reports they want. And then it's being able to actually see like how you perform. I don't know how many of you guys are a visual learner, but I love a nice display of how I'm doing. And if it's up and to the right, I'm like, okay, good. Everything's going good. And I think our partners feel the same way. If things are up and to the right, then something's working, and it makes you want to keep doing what's working. And so I think that has been really fun for our partners to be able to actually interact with and get to see on their end. So just a couple of things out of my laundry list of things that I've liked.
That's fantastic. And I know you covered referrals there. In terms of referrals and how they work at Prime, how has that grown since you've been with Everflow? Like in terms of getting that as either a new growth driver or a new aspect of your business, like how has your referral program grown?
Yeah, actually, so the referral is just kind of used on an ad needs basis by our affiliates. We don't push it, but if they feel like they need to tell somebody else about Prime and they need to sign up as an affiliate, then they just kind of share that link. So it's not been pushed super hard, but we've actually, now that we understand that tool and how it works, we have an opportunity that's coming up actually in the next couple of days where we will be bringing on some new affiliates, and then those affiliates are going to be sharing their referral links at a large number. And we're talking that link's going to get shared with, thousands of individuals. And we've not done it to that magnitude yet. So this will be a really exciting experience to see how that link is used. But now that we have Everflow to actually help us keep track of everything, we can do it at that level rather than it just being like word of mouth. We can actually push this as a tool with our new affiliates and really, really grow it. So I would say that's just one example of how that referral link is going to be used and what scale it's going to be used on.
Yeah,
that's
Tony,
really cool.
I'll even go as far as giving you some of the details on that, because I don't know if we pursue this opportunity that we have as much as we do without the help of Everflow. And we have a really, really cool opportunity for a lot of insurance agents to be able to have individual insurance agents be able to promote what it is that we do to help their clients through life insurance and other areas. And for Steve and I, we're going after the main company and just trying to make sure that we get one affiliate pushing as many clients as possible. But by how easy it is, Hope tells me that it's easy. So I don't know any of this stuff, but I trust Hope. And she said, no, with Everflow, it's going to make it a lot easier for these reps to be able to get links. Before this, we're probably not entertaining it to the point that we are, but I think it's a really cool opportunity to allow some of these smaller affiliates to be able to have opportunities to generate revenue and to help their clients. And that wouldn't have happened a couple months ago. But before Everflow. So big opportunity that has us thinking a little bit different to continue to improve here as a company.
That's really cool, because it seems like it's so organic. So much of your growth is so kind of organic and spontaneous and just happens. And now with this ability, with the tool of Everflow to be able to scale it very purposefully, I just can't imagine how big that growth might be because of how organic and also huge that organic growth has been thus far. That's really exciting.
Yeah, and that's awesome that
Yes.
you guys touched on how easy it's going to be, and as far as the conversion process and the referral sign up process, things like that. And that's one thing we've seen in Everflow, because we're huge on referrals. We feel that any of your people in your network are going to be great advocates for your brand. They know your products. They know you. They can vouch for you, and so referrals are big. But the number one killer is momentum. So it's like all these people that say, oh yeah, I have this referral program and sign up right now. But if there's usually either no follow through, there's no tracking, there's no easy way to do it. And so that's what we have with our, one of the features on our platform is this referral technology, because it allows you to essentially, see where these things are going, follow up with people, make sure they happen, and actually work the referral program versus what normally happens when it's just a lot of talk and it doesn't really go anywhere. So.
Totally. Yep,
yes,
it's
awesome.
so true.
Yeah, for sure. And I think it's you guys will definitely see the results from it. And I was going to ask you, talk about it being with insurance agents. Are these mostly local area agents, or would these be people just nationwide? How big of a scope would it be?
Yeah, nationwide. I think that's another reason that we've created a lot of this success, is we've been able to work nationwide. And that's a whole nother area of opportunity where, to Hope's point, I mean, it could be thousands of links that are created over the next couple of months that we wouldn't have had the capacity or really even entertained doing if it wasn't for the simplicity of running it through the Everflow process. So,
Yeah.
Hope's
And
putting a lot of
not to
trust.
interrupt
Hey,
you, Tommy.
Hope better be right, because I don't know how to do any of it. So it's all on her.
I know he's gonna put this to the test here in a couple hours. We'll be chatting about it, but it'll be great. And you brought this up a little bit earlier, Tony, like how is it saving you time? When our team was presented with this opportunity initially, everybody who wasn't familiar with how we're leveraging Everflow was like, who's going to build thousands and thousands of links? And they were like, who's going to even have the time to get that done and make sure that we have the tracking parameters around it, right? Like that alone is a big time saver, because we would have had somebody cranking away on that for hours. So I wanted to circle back to that, because I think that is a huge factor in how it's saving us time.
No, that's fantastic. Yeah, I think that it's similar to what you guys were saying earlier in terms of like the structure and getting things set up the right way. And so once you know that these things are out there and you know that they're valuable, and it's great to do a little planning ahead of time to get things set up the right way, save so much time. And speaking of kind of the platform and sort of how it saves time, I know, Hope, you mentioned earlier about reports that you're into. Are there any reports that have given you any sort of kind of unique data insights about your program from Everflow?
Yeah, no, this is a great question. I have been waiting patiently for funnel reports. They recently just came out. And
it's also funnel report week as well.
It's funnel report week. So, we've been celebrating it here.
Jordan, one of the people that seem to be into it, but yes, go ahead.
Yeah.
You can count me in. I'm definitely into it. I haven't gotten to like dig into it as much as I want to, but we are so excited to use the funnel reports. That is one thing that we do a really good job of, and I hope to do an even better job of with Everflow, is being transparent and letting our partners see how they're doing on their own, and being able to see all the different metrics and things of that nature. So I'm excited about the funnel reports and being able to share that. We use the conversion reports all the time. That is just a helpful tool to have in your back pocket constantly. And then also I have had the opportunity to play around with like the dynamic reports as well, and being able to leverage those and adding all sorts of different components into that report, because you can really get crazy with how you build it out. And so that has been awesome as well, because you're just looking at all of the numbers and all the performance in a different way. And I think I wasn't initially like a little data guru. I didn't really care for numbers. I normally probably would have pulled away and been like, numbers aren't really my thing. But being able to dive into Everflow and see how nicely it's presented, and being able to look at it in such different ways, I've become a nerd for it a little bit. So I would say those are where I play around with it most, is the dynamic report. I'm excited for the funnel reports, and then also just general conversion reports is awesome.
Nice.
Fantastic. That's great to hear. Yeah, the funnel report, just for the audience, it's a really unique report that we just came out with that basically allows you to see how different events relate to each other. So things like either visiting certain sites of your, certain pages of your site, or going to completing a demo request, doing different aspects of an offer or any kind of campaign. You can compare how these things interact, and so it gives you a nice picture of how things are kind of fitting into the big picture, and also where there might be lapse in the funnel itself. So like where you might see, okay, our customers are coming in, but they're stopping at this step and they're missing this area, and so maybe we want to fix this part of it. So it really helps you plan and kind of dial in everything before the conversion happens. So it's definitely something to check out. Yes. And so in terms of kind of, where you guys are going 2025 with the affiliate program, I know you mentioned referrals, Hope. Is there anything else that you guys are going to, and insurance, the agents as well, anything else you guys are looking to do to kind of ramp up your program even more in next year?
Yeah, so a couple of things that are in the works is we're working on having some of our offers officially go public in the marketplace, which will be really exciting for us. We've got to play around in the marketplace just a little bit so far, which has been really fun. I actually just got off a call with a connection that was made in the marketplace this morning. So it's pretty cool to interact with people from all over that have similar interests, or we ended up having something that we may be able to help each other with. So I'm excited to continue to scale how we are in the marketplace, how we connect with people in the marketplace, making our offers public in the marketplace. So that's something that we definitely have in the works. And then also, I think there's a couple of other things that we hope to eventually get to this year and attend, like our affiliate summit, jump into that and get to connect with you guys. I think you guys may even be there.
Yes,
So those are things that we're hoping to get to this year. And so, yeah, just a few things.
Very cool. And yeah, and thank you for mentioning the marketplace. And just for the audience, our marketplace is really unique because it's partners that we have relationships with, and on the advertiser side, they're our clients. So they're definitely people that obviously they're on Everflow, but we can trust them. We know all about them, and so it's a real nice way to connect with publishers, because these are publishers that we recruit. And so the introductions and everything are very smooth, because it's not just like you're kind of set out at sea, like other marketplaces where you're just there and there's tons of stuff and you're not sure what to do. These are actually like places where you can make connections. So that's great. Hope that you guys were able to do that. And yeah, in terms of, oh, sorry, did I interrupt you?
Oh no, I was just gonna kind of bring it out broader and kind of ask, and especially to Tommy, like looking to the future, like any sort of more generally exciting developments looking forward to and in 2025 for Prime, like yeah, anything exciting or anything really new upcoming that you want to plug, or anything, either of you.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, so just recently there was the Financial Crimes Enforcement Network just came out with a new regulation that every business owner has to report a beneficial ownership information report to this federal government agency. It's a requirement. All business owners have to do it. So we have spent a ton of money, a ton of resources, and a lot of time on building out really, really amazing portals that will work like digital wallets. So not only will we have a software for the business credit that will work like a digital wallet for their business, but we're also creating a portal that will allow people to upload all of their information. And this will be for more than business owners, even for individuals and people with W-2s. It's such a pain to know, where's your insurance card? Where are your previous year's taxes? You're going to buy a house. Go pull up your last 2 years worth of records and no one knows where they are. We're very close. It should be launched by the beginning of Q2. We've got a full-time team working on a portal that will allow people and business owners to store all of their information and have access to digital cards for their businesses, all in one login, one portal. Selfishly, I kind of built it for myself because I'm sick of chasing everything around. But
right, that's incredible. I'm like, get me on that.
I know, right? Yeah, we spent too much money for just me to use it, so I need you in there as well.
There you go. There you go.
We got 2 users for it now. I love it. Yeah.
Perfect.
Very cool. Very cool.
Excellent.
Yeah, well, awesome. I think that is all we had today. But yeah, thank you guys so much. And yes, if you're in the affiliate space, you definitely want to check out what Prime Corporate Services does, because as they mentioned, they have great products, and that's a huge differentiator because in the affiliate space, there's so many things you can promote. And so actually having products that are, number one, useful, and also number two, timely. So, with either uncertain political stuff going on, or even, tax season, even if you're an affiliate and you just go to an event and you're ready to take action, these are services that you can use. So it's definitely a program to check out. And it also seems like Prime itself is providing extremely useful services
helpful for
people.
everyone.
Yeah, for everybody. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So Jordan and I are hyped. I think we're going to sign up immediately after this.
Yeah, I'm like, pulling it up right now.
No, yes, but no, it's definitely great, and it just shows you like how a business can, if they have good products and they have people that are committed to providing useful services, and these are the kind of results. And so we're happy to have them on Everflow, and we definitely thank them for your time. And thanks, everybody.
Thank you so much for chatting with us. And yeah, it curses that I can't go get In and Out here in Chicago because now I'm craving it. But
you send me Illuminati's, and I'll send you In and Out.
There we go. We'll do a swap. Sounds perfect. Now we just need to create that technology, and we'll be set.
Yeah. We'll figure that out.
Yes, right?
Yeah.
For the next
thank
show.
you guys too.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that we got to jump on here and chat with you guys. Honestly, this was so fun and so refreshing. So I appreciate it, you guys. Thank you a ton.
Excellent. Thanks so much, Tommy and Hope. Have a great weekend.
See you guys.
See ya.